everybody? We're almost as full online as we are in the room. That's outstanding. Hi, Joe. Give 1 second for the stragglers grabbing their coffee and snacks, and we'll get going. Not you. I mean, you can add yourself to that if you want. Don't take it personally.
But not with these guys.
Yeah, where were you, Joe? All right, everybody. Happy unique coffee talk. Being that it's a Monday at noon instead of a Friday at 10. Yeah, I had actually made it back to the house by Friday at 10, but I wouldn't have been able to make it here by Friday at 10. So it was a fast and a whirlwind. We'll get into that, but outstanding as always. I love seeing how many of you are online with us today. So that's outstanding as well. And some newer faces to Coffee Talks. This is really good. We got what I thought was a pretty cool compliment the other day. Those of you that were watching or with us last month, Leslie was here. We introduced Leslie. She's the new operation manager over both communities. And she couldn't believe they do coffee talks at Seven Summits and they're like 15 minutes long. And she's like, Todd goes an hour and they're listening. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, sometimes, right? Sometimes we got lots of stuff. You guys always have great questions and we do have a lot of stuff to go over. And I love the excitement of things. We probably have some additional stuff to go over today. So we'll kind of jump into that. But as usual with Coffee Talk, after we say our good mornings, good afternoons, and hellos, we just kind of like recap what's been going on. We are almost done with the month of April. Has everybody had a good April? We got a couple really good weeks. We got that sneaky April weather. It's the one that fakes you guys all out and you think you're rolling into it. And then you get another month of rain and cold like today. And tonight's going to happen. But I don't get mad at those. I just appreciate them. You know, you get pretty lucky to have an outstanding week. Does anybody have any highlights from April? You were jumping on that right. I knew you were going to jump on it right off the bat. Well, we did do our very first overnight excursion for Verterra. It's a very popular thing for Trilogy communities to do, and it was our chance to do our first. So we did a couple nights in Leavenworth. I do see we have some Leavenworth people online as well as offline. How was Leavenworth, folks? Those that attended.
We all drank too much.
Number one Trilogy activity. Apparently there was a lot of drinking. But luckily I didn't foster that. You did that all of your own accord, right? I would not have booked back-to-back wine tastings for you guys, right? I wouldn't have done something like that. What else?
Well, it was really well organized. There's plenty of time to do what we wanted to do and do things as a group. German food was great. The hike was great. The weather perfect.
Oh, wow.
I wish I could take.
People were just exceptional, as they always are.
I love that. So I can take credit, hopefully, for the planning and organizing of it. So I'm glad you thought the trip was well organized and it was clear in what we were doing. I cannot take credit for the absolute magical weather we had. We had 70 degrees both days. I mean, the drive over was just worth it. It was absolutely stunning. We learned it was pear orchards. I thought they were apples. Somebody thought they were pear orchards, were in bloom. It was white flowers of orchards in massive acreage and fields as we drove into Leavenworth. Of course, you go into Leavenworth, it's just a cute, beautiful Bavarian town as well. The sunshine was out. The mountain, though, was the mountain still had snow up in them. I mean, you kind of almost felt. I might have spun in circles and sang some Sound of Music at a couple of times, right? Right? Yes. Kathy and Dan, it was your first time to Leavenworth, correct? Yep. So I know Kathy and Dan was their first time. It was not Steve and Tara's. But about half the group, I think, had never been up to the Leavenworth area, so that was outstanding. Yeah.
Good size group too, not too big.
Yeah, so as we talk about the opportunities we have to do these excursions, I usually set up, so you guys are kind of in the know, a 20-room block. So that's the max of attendance, which if it was double occupancy, then that would be 40 people, right? Our minimum to go though, what I usually work with the hotels is a 10-room minimum on the hotel side. So we had 12, 13 if you count the camper. We had 13 rooms at this trip, so that's what made that group. But groups could get slightly bigger, but not too big. Like 40 would be the cap. But there was some singles on the trip too, so that will always change the number of outcomes. So good that you like that.
Let's plan another trip.
Yeah.
We'll go.
To Leavenworth again, yeah. So we'll jump into some future trips as we get through our coffee talk a little longer. But it sounds like, is there any online input about trip to Leavenworth? Anything you guys wanted to chime in about? You do not have to, just asking. Thumbs up. I got 2 thumbs up from Kathy and Dan. That's good. That's good. And St. Louis pizza for life, right? Because it's a thing. I bow down. So I know, guys, I walk that fine line of confidence and cockiness, and I feel like I have adequate wisdom. But if I stick my feet in the ground super deep and then I'm wrong, I will absolutely, they would agree. Some of you saw me bow down in apology to Kathy and Dan for dissing on the St. Louis pizza, and that there was no such thing. In fact, there is a very real St. Louis pizza. Some of you may or may not enjoy it. When I read the description of St. Louis pizza, I think Dan said it was an acquired taste to that, but it is a real deal. There's actually 12 certified styles of pizza in the world. Yeah. 3 of them in Italy. I didn't get to eat it, but so they use a non-leavened crust. Teach you about St. Louis pizza real quick. A non-leavened crust, so it bakes really, really crispy and hard. It's like a thick cracker crust. And then they do typical toppings, except they only use one specific cheese called Provel. Is that correct? Pronounce that right? Provel, and it's made in St. Louis, and it's a processed cheese with Swiss, provolone, and then like an American, right? I believe it's 3 styles of cheeses processed into one. And the inventors of St. Louis pizza also bought Provel cheese. So it's basically a stamp that it must have Provel to be called St. Louis pizza in St. Louis. So I don't know what Provel tastes like. Dan says it's amazing, and he would buy it by the 10-pound blocks if he could.
Yeah.
There you go, St. Louis pizza. St. Louis pizza. So who knew? And I didn't know, and now I do. Anything else in April? Any recaps? Anything that highlighted you had a lot of fun doing? The cheese was in April. Thank you. So you guys do so much stuff, you forget which. I do too. I forget what month that is. We did the, what's that? Rugby was also in April. So a lot of people really enjoyed rugby. My highlight was our neighbor Judy Johansson and her absolute brand new fervor passion towards rugby. It's her new top sport. She was on fire all during the rugby. I sat right next to her. She was nonstop all game, asking questions, cheering, booing if they weren't playing hard enough. And then she told everybody at the party, everybody all just thought rugby was great. So I thought that was great too. I was actually just looking at tickets Friday because I think it's their last home game this Friday. Not for you, for me, sorry. We had a cheese making class. I found more dairy today when I was cleaning up, getting ready for coffee talk. Cheese making class was outstanding. We had Jan Addison, the neighbor cheese lady, come. So if you didn't take the class, you also got a chance to meet her at the block party because she came over, and that was a lot of fun. I actually got my Reddit in the mail right before the Leavenworth trip, so I'm gonna over this next weekend probably make my own curds after taking a class and learning, and then make my own cheese from that too. So that was really good. So April was a lot of fun. We're almost done with it, but we're not out of it yet. We got a couple fun events left, right? What's tomorrow night? Happy hour at our neighbor's Post and Pour. So that's always a good time. And then
Don't leave a mess.
The bike clubs and the golf club, and it's just fun to see our community get more engaged, and so that was really fun.
Yes, we did launch 2 new clubs this month, Sam and the golf club. And well, Mahjong's going really well. And then Eric and the bike club. And everybody's already doing events. Sam's got 3 golf events already up for the month of May. Eric's done multiple bike rides already. So the clubs are getting going. The good pause until Ski Club can go again, right? But it was really cool. Ski Club celebrated their end of season dinner. They went down to Oxbow Restaurant and enjoyed a nice meal to celebrate their season together. So that was outstanding. So really cool in the clubs. And then, yeah, we have Mariners this week. So that's pretty cool. And they're doing good. So not that they'll do, you guys, besides the Thunderbirds, I was 0 for on all sporting events with Verterra. I almost stopped booking them because you guys weren't bringing good luck to the Seattle teams. Every Mariners game, Rainiers games, every game I went to, I was like, no, Sounders game. But the Mariners are doing really well right now. They're number 1 in the division. They've won 6 straight series. Pretty outstanding. Young man pitched yesterday, his first appearance in the major leagues. I always think those are really touching moments. His family was all flown in. It was a really cool thing to see. He won. It was the first Mariner to win their first game ever in the major since 2016. So it was just a really good feel-good day yesterday. If you're following all that, I was doing that while watching my daughter, who, yes, hit a home run for me on my birthday. You should just run a reel of all the videos of her hitting home runs. She's pretty awesome. Yeah, so it was really good. Well, if there's no more highlights in April, let's just talk about stuff about May, because not quite all the May calendars posted. I was just looking. There's, I think, 3 things that haven't posted yet. Happy hour being one of them, right? Happy hour in May, just to remind everybody, will be at $6. So $6 is right at the end of 198th in the strip mall where the Kohl's is. It's owned by the same people that own Purdy's. So if you've ever been down to Purdy's, Brian Purdy's the owner of Purdy's. He also owns $6, and they're called $6 not because of 6 bucks, because everything there is $6.
That's cool.
Yeah, I have to do that to you guys sometimes. So you stop breaking me over the coals for top shelf, you know. Then we just go to the $6 for a while.
No,
That's
good.
Yeah, they raised, well, they couldn't change the name for that.
So that's posting, and then we have another baseball event. We have a Rainiers event in May too that we'll post here in the next few days as well. So keep your eyes open for that. That'll be a fun baseball game. Some things to talk about in May real quick. There's a Mother's Day brunch at the Mantle. So that is posted with information on our MTL event page. You still go through their open table to book if you're interested to do that. If you did the Easter, anybody do the Easter brunch? No, they actually do a really, really, really good job with their brunches down at the Mantle. So if you ever have a chance to do something like that, you're looking for something a little fun to do with the family or whatnot, you can book for the Mother's Day a brunch or any future brunches that are coming. How many that I'm leading on this, so you can't answer. You already know the answer to this. Anybody notice anything crazy in the fitness room?
Is it we've been to the fitness?
I was told the answer.
Yes. If the word's spreading, yes. There's more recovery equipment now. There's more recovery equipment. We got a second set of the Hyperice Air equipment. So 2 people can do legs or hips or arms now on there. We also got some brand new Hyperice calf compression ones. They do just the calves. Those are really neat. We got a second back piece. We got a new shoulder piece. We got a second knee piece. So now you can do both knees. There's 2 massage guns in there now. So there's a lot more recovery equipment in there. You don't have to be deterred if somebody's already in there using it, because there was already 2 chairs. And I may or may not be sitting on an entire box of Therabody equipment that just surprisingly showed up that has half out of its packaging, and looking at some of those crazy things. They have a really cool stress mask. It's a mask you put on, and it uses it's dark but with special lighting, sound, and gives you a full face massage to your eyes. You do like these 50 minutes, so you can add that. You can put the leg recovery on, the back recovery on. You can put a shoulder on, put the mask on. You just be in there in full recovery armor as you got fully treated on that. But we'll get some of that up and running as well for the recovery equipment. Any questions on that? Has everybody in here gotten their fitness orientation yet? I know that Carol and Earl have not, but they've reached out to get that scheduled.
So you do check with you?
Yes, remember there's 2 things you need to do. You need to go online to MTL. to the
Wow.
Blue Star section and you'll find documents. And in documents, you'll find a new member enrollment form. If you can't find it, just ask. I'll send you the link to it. Fill that out. If you're a 2-person household, only one person has to fill it out because you can add the second person. So you don't both have to go online and try to find that. But you need to have that done. And then you need to do an orientation with me. And once you've done both of those things, you have access to the fitness room. Any questions online about that? Anybody? No. So yeah, all you have to do at this point is email, text me, whatever, and we'll find a hole in my schedule that works for both of us and we can go and do that. It does take 75 to 90 minutes. So make sure when you are reaching out to me that we've set an adequate amount of time aside to do all that. And everybody goes, there's no way. And then when they look at their watch, they're like, there was a way. I can't believe that we went through all that. It takes a little bit of time, but I do feel you get a good rounding of everything you need in there. And thank you to those of you. I've had several of you reached out and gone through second, not full orientations, but second rounds of questions because you had things that didn't stick, which I totally understand. It's a lot of information. And I also let you know that if you reached out, I'd be happy to go over that stuff with you again. Those of you looking for trapeze bars and swing sets and everything so they can hang upside down by one toe, we'll work on that for you.
Yeah,
Same app.
well, they were, okay,
So
excuse me.
this is being recorded, so Blue Star, you can go back and hear me say this. You are a cut above other Trilogy communities. Not only do I come from the fitness background and made it very prevalent that it's important that you guys have this information in the knowledge base so you can do all this stuff, then you do it. So like most of you downloaded the Techno Gym app and then you're scanning it on the machines or doing those things. Other communities have not rolled out their Techno Gym as well as they want to get all this information out there. So they came up with a contest. You can still enter the contest, but you've already got that. Yeah. So they're just trying to spur excitement that they didn't get done in the first round. I don't want to deny you anything, whether it's, I was so happy that, how many people saw Deb Greenberg's post on Facebook last night? Anybody? She posted on the Verterra Facebook page. She put her dog into the pet stock photo contest week and she was reaching out to you guys to ask for votes because there was a window left of time and she's like, please go on and vote for my dog because I entered it. But those are the little things, like Trilogy goes to the trouble of putting on a contest and roll it out there. Becky Graves won the Guess the Biscuit contest, closest to the biscuits. It was 418. If those of you were wondering how many biscuits were in there, what's that? Oh, yeah.
Put the 2 ladies up.
So that was a gift card and then all the biscuits too. To that. So I try not to ignore these things that come, from the corporate side of things. They're giving away stuff for you guys. Like why ignore it? These are all, awesome things for you guys in the process. So yeah, no problem. Great question. But there is something we want to talk about. They asked me to cover it on Coffee Talk. I would probably expect in June that there will start to be some events that are going to have fees added onto them finally. This comes from the Shea side and from the Blue Star side. There'll be an official email sent out, but they wanted me to make sure here at the end of this month that it was starting to be talked about. That means when you look at your lifestyle calendar, does that mean every event on your lifestyle calendar all of a sudden is going to have some kind of fee? No, it does not. It means they will go through and select and start getting you guys to understand how your lifestyle calendar will work. It'll get bigger. There'll be more stuff. Not everything on your lifestyle calendar means you have to have some kind of charge on, but a lot of events are. You're being subsidized currently by Shea, and that will start to move itself over in the process as we get closer. I haven't got this week's updates. I'll have a call with Mark this afternoon, but I do know that permit stuff was looking really good, and they were hoping maybe, and this was a week ago, 30 to 60 days that we were groundbreaking. That's a maybe. Everybody says, oh, you have a hard date. I can't give a hard date because it's in the county's hands. It's not in Shea's hands. Shea is chomping at the bit to go. They're ready. They have their contractor. Everything's all signed off on who's building, who's doing all that. They just need the county to say, there you go. You can legally do it now. So they have it. They do this back and forth communications where the county sends back comments asking about, you know, structural thing on this roof and everything. Things change every year. I found out, like, for example, all buildings now have to be equipped solar compatible. They don't have to have solar. They have to be wired to accept solar. So you can't build a commercial building anymore in the state of Washington, or at least in Pierce County, that's not equipped to take solar. So that's load as well. So then they have to prove that the roof is, you know, can take the load bearing weight of solar panels and all those kind of things. So that was just an example. I asked, when you guys asked, I was talking with Mark. I was like, well, what kind of comments come back? And he's like, well, here's an example. I was like, oh, that's really cool. So comments go, they answer back comments. Pierce County will send back comments. There's usually a couple rounds of comments before they sign off on those permitting. But according to people who know more than me, we're close. We're very close, which means you could have pickleball before snowfall. Could.
This year? They're gonna be-
This year.
Pickleball's, the clubhouse is gonna be finished this year, though, right?
This year, no, but it should be roughly a year from start date that we have a clubhouse. So whenever we do start, you can hope in 2026 if we, you know, well, we'd have that. So no lockdown guarantees, but that's, yeah, to 97.5.
Well, you can't. do it other than this year.
I don't have the finite details. Of course, the pool will have a heating system. A lot of the questions is, will they heat it throughout the winter? I don't know that.
Okay, that's.
No, that is up to them, whether it will be. I will tell you this, the more you use the pool, the more likely they would be to look at heating it through the winter. If they find attendance in the pool isn't up to snuff, then that's a tremendous amount of money on Shea to pay to have the pool heated, because then they buy these really expensive covers that locks the heat that have to be removed every morning, all that kind of stuff. I do know this because they do it at Valor. They have a very big swimming community down at Valor. Also, they'll have a legitimate winter there in old Idaho, right? So, but they keep their pool open year round. But again, that's not every community is different. So we don't know yet. So use the pool a lot for swimming. Any questions about that whole like charging concept and what that means? Doesn't even mean 100%. It just means like maybe the trip to Seattle is like a $10 trip to Seattle, and that would offset the cost of tickets into the event or those kind of things, right? That's kind of what it would be at first. And eventually, though, that is what will be. So we're all in understanding. We do our Seattle train trips. You know, it won't be. A lot of you are already on Orca. Awesome. You guys are all amazing. Have your Orca cards. That's phenomenal. Those of you who don't know, I still cover your ticket, and that's fine. It would mean like when we're full on into Clubhouse, you'd be buying your ticket too. And then I would probably get some kind of great wholesale rate on our tickets into whatever we're going to, if it's that kind of event. And then you would be given that rate. So it wouldn't be any extra. I'm not going, I got them for 25, I'm going to charge them 40. That's not the goal. But that's eventually how it process. But right now it'll be just a small, so you kind of get used to that too, which could be some of you have been really enjoying the fact that I can do any and everything and it's no charge, and you should. But when there's charging, maybe that's going to change the wait list, because some people go, well, now I don't want to spend $10 to do that. That's okay. Some of you will, and you wait list. Some of you have these. There will be top dollar for the culinary classes. Yes. Long list there. We'll read that one out. Just kidding.
Todd,
So yes.
so when there is charges, when we register, can we go through and use the charge it to the Blue Star account like we do meals at the Mantle?
That's a really good question, Steve. So did you everybody hear that? So like if you've eaten at the Mantle, they keep a card on file there, and they just member charge it, right? You're allowed to do that. This is something you will be able to do when the clubhouse is open. Pre-clubhouse, they don't have a big bank account for that. So what happens is you pay me through a credit card, debit card only. You can't give me cash. You can't write me a check. And I have a credit card machine that goes straight to a Blue Star bank account. And then I have to fill out a sheet on every event that's charged and say this many people. And then they know to allocate all that money, and it's just given back to Shay, because Shay's paying for everything, so they get that money back, right? Does that make sense? But once we have a clubhouse, Verterra has its own bank account. You'll be able to set up your member charges, and you'll be able to do it that way. So yes, future, but when we do start this interim, it's just going to be Todd and a credit card machine.
So if
get a more expensive car, does that indicate that you're doing really well getting people to charge these things?
Yeah. Careful. That's what my son's baseball coach just got busted for. So that gets a little close to home. Kurt asked if I was going to get a new car all of a sudden right after you guys started charging. No, I'll show you the machine. It doesn't go to my account. If I use my cell phone for something, then you can worry. It's like, yeah, just tap my cell phone, Kurt. No big deal. Any other online questions? Great questions, Steve. All right. How many of you then would like to hear what you really come to Coffee Talk for? What's coming in June? Yeah. So June calendar is like 90% completed. So there will be, just like when I went over May's calendar in April, there's been events that have been added that I didn't go over because I'm always looking to fill stuff. So what I go over is stuff we're doing, and then there will be possibly more. So we're going to start the month off on the 2nd, on a Monday, and that will be the normal walk and MTL 101. So if you still don't understand how to fully use your MTL, this is a great class to come to. If you think you understand how to use MTL, it's a great class to come to. If you need a refresher on your MTL, it's a great class to come to. As your community gets bigger, MTL works better. The more people there are, there's more things on there. You know, I sat down with someone last month in MTL and was talking about how using the bulletin board and be able to post things, whether it's good or bad. Like you love your landscaper and you want everybody to know about your landscaper. That's what the bulletin board is for. You don't have to wait until you have a neighborhood block party or something. You can post on bulletin and everybody in your neighborhood have access to find out who your landscaper was, or vice versa. Maybe you did not have a good experience and you want to warn people ahead of time that if you hear from this company or this person, this is my experience. It's, you know, it's bulletin on there. Some of your neighbors have, you know, as they're downsizing, they put items up that they're not in need of anymore. Then if you have stuff you're trying to get rid of, but only to your neighbors, so it only posts to your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Things like that for bulletins, or you're interested in starting a club, but you don't even know if anybody else, you don't even want to do the meeting yet. You could post on the bulletin and say, I was really looking to do this. Anybody else that lives in Verterra like doing that? Boom. And then it's like, I think we have enough. And then we have an interest meeting. Just a great way to reach out to communities. You learn more about that in MTL 1 along with everything else. Stretch classes will be the same. We have a keynote speaker on the 4th, and you guys can do the live streams in your house. You can also go back as they record them and post them on YouTube, but I host a live stream. So if you just kind of come and hang out, I pop it up on the screen, and you can, you know, pillage my waters and coax while we watch the live stream together. Lori and I hung out a couple live streams ago. It was a great time. So those are always. I do have you registered for showing up, just so I know, because if all of a sudden, if it's like coffee talk, I ran out of room and wouldn't be able to do it. But not mandatory. Like I said, you can walk from home, but just something, since we have this kind of space, they can do all that. This one's really cool. I want to give I don't think she's on right now, but I want to give a big shout out to Deb Greenberg. When we did our Women's International Day down at Farm 12, she realized what a cool organization Farm 12 was, and she reached out to their volunteer side, and they have a volunteering called Step by Step. And then she got her in contact with me. So on June 5th, we're going to do a step-by-step volunteering. It's going to be down at the Farm 12 location. And there's a big run called Rainier to Ruston. And they need someone help packing the stuff before the run. So we're going to go and help pack cookie packs and everything to give the runners and everything out. But all of this is nonprofit for their organization through that. So really cool. Thank you, Deb Greenberg, for getting that one going. I love those. Suzanne was all over the internet this weekend and sent me so many outstanding ideas for events to do, as well as a volunteer opportunity that I haven't sunk my teeth into yet, but they're there, and I want to give her credit for those as well. So again, that'll be the 4th.
So I didn't get a read.
To do that. That is the 5th. Thank you. Correction, the 5th. Then the 6th is a Friday. We're going to do our easy hike of the month. This one's going to be a second opportunity to do a Seattle trip, by the way, because I think we'll take the train, because we're going to do Discovery Park Lighthouse Loop, which is a park just up in the northern corner off the Pier District. It's a beautiful easy hike. It is over 4 miles, but it's completely flat, and we'll take the train up and then
Do I need to get an Orca card? Is that what you're saying? Is that? But you could use the Oracle card?
Well, I don't think you have to, but do you guys suggest you get an Orca card? Our Orca card's not the coolest things ever. They're super cool. And we'll show you how to get one.
You have one. I don't.
It also makes it only if you qualify by age, you probably don't, you're too young, but those that do, it's only $1 to take the train all the way to Seattle, including any add-on trips we do. But so that's what I'm looking at for the hike.
So just drive to the
Is
station, which is where?
No, you just do it online to get your work.
no. So if I set it up, I give a couple of little secret parking spots. Sumner Library's big parking lot. It's very convenient. They don't tow or anything, and it's a 1.5 block walk. Well, they're currently building a garage, and then they also put no parking for a 3 block radius outside. So if you can't park anywhere legitimately, unless you're lucky. Steve and Tara get lucky sometimes, always find some spot. But anyways, it's an easy spot to park on that. Game night will be the 11th. And we're going to be back to trivia, and we're going to use our online one again. Thank you, Barb. I know you're on the call. Thank you, Barb McDaniel. She gave me the idea. Everybody loved it. It was even a little chaotic, and everybody loved it. Now it'll be less chaotic because we've ran it once, and I sort of know what we're doing. But that worked really well. So it'll be game night trivia. The Thursday, the 12th. Are you in town the 12th? Sorry if you're not. You are perfect. Will be intermediate hike. This is considered one of the most beautiful hikes in the state. It's called Lake 22. It's out in Gold Bar. It's probably the extent of my driving distance to get us to a hike. We'll probably leave fairly early. It's an 1.5-hour drive to get to Gold Bar. We'll want to miss all the traffic, but it is absolutely stunning hike. It's a uphill hike the whole way. It's not super steep. It is intermediate. Takes you out to this just lake. It's completely surrounded. It's absolutely beautiful and stunning. I'm going to keep my eyes on it though. We should be fine. People are hiking it as of today already. There's still some snow and goop up there, but I think by June we should be good to go on that one as well for intermediate. Art Vana, how many of you did the painting class here at the sales center we just had? Art Vana is going to come back on Friday the 13th. I won't make you paint black cats though. I will make you paint bees though. You can't not put the bee in your painting. No, I'm just kidding. You paint whatever you want, but they'll be back to do a painting. I also talked to them also coming back when it gets maybe in August when it's hot and doing a paint in the park and where we actually paint Mount Rainier live with their instruction following along. So that could be really cool. The 14th, this is the one I'm jamming on. Really excited about this. It will be our block party, but it's our barrels and barbecue block party. So I've got a country artist coming in. Talk about it. A local country artist coming in, solo performer. He's great. I have a barbecue truck coming in, KCD's Barbecue. Happy Camper Cocktails is coming back to slang bourbon drinks and beers and wine, as you all love them as well. So it should be a pretty good time. And thank you for being ahead of the game, Mike. I hope to have the event lawn completed. So they did some work last week getting it ready. So these lots behind us that are all sort of grass, this first one, not so, but the next two, they're actually trying to take better care of and get that all grown out. And that will be our event lawn pre-clubhouse. So we'll be able to host events out there, get some nice big tents and things like that, and no longer stuffed inside the sales center or whatnot, or even out in the parking lot. So we're hoping to have that up. The word is it should be. My word last summer was it should be, and we didn't get it. So I want to, I hope to. Someone would. Knock on wood for that. Walk stalks. The 18th will be culinary demo. And I don't know what it is yet, but I'll cook and you will learn. And you will eat, and you will be happy, because that's what we do in culinary demo, right? Okay. Anybody make carbonara since?
I was looking today to see if there's a way to get notified when these things come out. Have to have it on.
The 19th will be our Seattle trip.
There's people that just sit there all day, like Carla would have it on and she doesn't do anything.
Hey, Todd.
Barb, you're not muted.
You might want to recommend that the online folks mute themselves.
Hey, online folks, you might want to mute yourselves. Thanks, Patty. The law just said that. Know that. Patty, by the way, thanks for spreading the word. I had a walk last week and we were talking about the roundabouts and they were like, yeah, Patty already told us we're taking the wrong lane and why we shouldn't. I was like, oh, love you, Patty. Thank you.
You know what? People do it every day. And I just say, be safe. Just, if you have to go around the circle again, go around the circle. Big deal.
The roundabout.
Yeah.
Don't take the outside lane. It's the inside lane to get to your neighborhood. Just saying. If you don't believe in roundabouts, try that same knowledge in Europe and you're going to get ran into, beat up, and drugged through the fields. They don't play around with their roundabouts. I know it's new here. And we're trying to get into them, but there are rules to the roundabouts. So Seattle trip is going to be the 19th, and that also is undecided. So if you guys want to throw stuff at me, are we to the point of we're starting to revisit some things? It's been over a year since we did Pike Place. That was our very first Seattle train trip, was going to Pike Place Market and then took a nice walk down to the water for the Pier District and had lunch and everything. Or if there's something we haven't visited yet, I know there's the, what's the other museum we wanted to visit? No, we did Wing Luke just this month. It was the F, starts with an F. The Fry Museum, that one's available. We haven't hit the Fry Museum, thank you. I would say like the Seattle Center, we can do that, but I would like to wait at least a month because we're doing Mopop in May. So, and thank you, by the way. Did anybody notice anything special about the Mopop trip? Well, it is sold out, but there's got to be something. You have to notice these things. There is 20 spots. Because as you guys have gotten a little more adept at traveling to Seattle on the train, I feel less like a shepherd. And I feel like I can safely organize a slightly larger group into Seattle. No, I'm serious. I know the first few times we're transferring and all that, and I couldn't get people down the stairs and doors were closing and people were like, "Brah!" And it's fine when you take just a train, but when you got to go train to light rail to monorail, or light rail to tram, or any of those other things, and if we're slow and lagging and half you get left behind and you don't know what stop you're getting off or where we're going. So it is a big deal to keep groups safe that way. So we are going to experiment with the Mopop because that is a 3 transportation trip to get to that. And if everybody's really good, then maybe our Seattle trips will start to go take 20. Be pretty great. Also, I will always buy your ticket, but if you have an Orca card, it does make my life easier because when you buy tickets, I have to buy a ticket at every stop. So that's just time. As soon as we get to the light rail, I have to buy tickets for people on the light rail. And then when we get to the monorail, I have to buy tickets for monorail. I will always do that. That is not a reason not to go. Please don't be deterred. I'm just saying when everybody has an Orca, it's you scan it, and you're rocking. So it goes real quick. Yes. You can go online to buy an Orca card, or you can go by the Tacoma Dome, the station there. You can actually walk right in it, and they will give you you can buy it, and they'll give you a card in hand. You don't have to wait for it to be mailed. 5 minutes online, up to 2 weeks to get it though.
Oh, they send it.
You have to mail it to you.
Hard to use it. They don't give you a temporary.
Yes, you have to have the card.
So it's not going to work.
That's not till June.
Oh no, the one May first.
You have to register.
The one going to the Discovery.
Discovery Park's June. Point Defiance Park
Oh,
is
okay.
this week, and we're not taking train to that. Yeah. Okay, and then just coming up, it's out there. There's a big pickleball tournament that's being hosted by 7 Summits. When I get more info, I'll send it to you. It's like a fundraising tournament, so you, I believe, are able to play in that. If you are already into playing pickleball, it's probably not something you want to do if you haven't yet learned. It's probably not the tournament for you, but if you're already in, it'll be a chance to play. The 22nd of June, I'm really excited about this one, which is a Sunday. We're going to go see the ladies of the Seattle Storm, WNBA basketball. It's a really cool game because we're playing New York Liberty, which are the defending champs, and Brianna Stewart, who was drafted by Seattle and played quite a few years here and considered possibly the best player in the WNBA. So that'll be a really fun game. The 26th will be training hike with Todd. That might not be relevant to all of you, but those are the hard hikes. We'll just say it nicely. They are advanced hikes. They're not intermediate. There's always a group that would like to conquer Camp Muir at the end of the summer. So we always do a series of training hikes up until probably August. To at least give you some kind of, I can't get you training to actually do Muir because there's no other hikes like it. But we can at least put some sweat in to condition ourselves as best we can to get to that. So I haven't chosen which one that will be. Kind of waiting for the weather a little bit, but that will be the date of the training hike. Coffee talk will be the 27th. And happy hour will be Monday the 30th. And that will be back at Post and Pour. They're going to take us every other month. If that helps up top there, every other month, happy hours will be at Post and Pour. They're close and convenient, and they do a great job. So, and they charge more than $6. So I'm still, treating you like royalty. Things that I said will be coming. We do have a week there in June. It's Spirits Week. So just like there's wine events next month for Wine Week, I'll schedule a few spirit tastings, whether they're on site or off site as well. If anybody has any connections to that, there's certain spirit or they have requests, go ahead and share them with me as well. That would be great, but there's no dates, actual dates for that yet though, but that is the week leading into the block party. So look for those things coming in that week. Questions on June? Yes, sir.
Not on June.
Okay, before overall questions then. So I said I would talk about it. These are some things even to put in your brain now. Our next overnight excursion is going to go to Walla Walla. If you're not from here, you don't know Walla Walla. Walla Walla is where all the grapes are grown. There's over 500 wineries in Walla Walla. They grow most of the Washington grapes for the region. There's Yakima and some other spots, but Walla Walla is wine country. So the idea is a 3-night excursion to give more chance because there's so many really close wineries as well as downtown's full of wine tasting rooms. There's great restaurants, nice walks in Walla Walla. But do understand, do check out Walla Walla. If you're not into the wine part, just make sure you look up Walla Walla, and I will have some things planned, but I don't want you to feel like there wasn't enough for you to do in the area for the trip. Obviously, time with your neighbors is always amazing and those kind of things, and we'll plan meals and stuff like that. But know that is what Walla, that in the prison. We can do a tour of the, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, we're gonna take a tour of that.
We could, if you want it. Yeah. Yeah, I had to do the women's prison once for a Crim J class. That was enough for me. I don't need to visit anymore. Those are some special places. But that is coming. Also, those of you who talked about, does everybody understand who Kim Alexis is? Who she is and who she is to us? Kim Alexis is actually one of the founding, before they made the term supermodel. She literally was one of the first supermodels ever in this planet. She had an amazing modeling career. She's now currently living in the 60 and over, enjoying life's phase, and she is an ambassador for Blue Star and Trilogies. So she does a lot of stuff. If you've been to the Mantle, she helps with highlighting healthy menu choices that are on the Mantle. She does wellness stuff, talks and fitness. She's a big golfer and all this stuff. So she's basically the face of Trilogy right now. And she is going to come to us. So we have a visit from Kim Alexis on July 22nd and 23rd, and she's going to get involved with us. I know one of the things we're working on is the culinary demo, as I am going to cook some of her recipes while she's there to help or talk or hang out and do all those things with you. And another thing is we're gonna do a trilogy, to Holly walk or hike with her as well. She wants to get out and be active with you guys, with some other things on there. So she'll be coming up to visit in July. So if you'd like to meet Kim Alexis, that's when she'll be here. And also those of you golfing, the golf event should post next 2 days for the ladies golf thing. Remember, there is only 7 spots and it's going to be amazing. Jackie is quite the individual, and I recommend you do not have to be a good golfer. I recommend going and golfing with her. You'll have a blast. She's a really cool person. So that's coming up. Now, questions?
Did you get any feedback about the music at the last block party? Because indoors, I know there were a lot of people that were complaining that it was way too loud.
Well, you know,
And
it's,
conversation.
thank you for saying that. Communities like ours, there's win, lose, right? So for not one of you came to me at any time in that event and said that you thought the music was too loud. I am the controller of said event. It is my event. It's the event I hosted for you. All you had to do was ask. Our entertainers understand that. So if it gets quiet, they'll turn the music up. If they're told that it's a little loud, they can turn the music down. But nobody told me, not one person during the whole event. I will tell you, there was 2 people that complained that they couldn't hear the music, and because everybody was talking and they wanted to hear the musician. So you have to give me the information. It's feedback now. I appreciate it. And now you know, and we can talk about it when we have our next, we'll be outside, but we'll have our next performer in June. And if you feel that way. And for every time I think, well, I don't need a musician, then I have complaints we didn't have music at our events. And so it is a constant back and forth. So I try to appease one group, and then I hear it from the other group, and I appease that group, and I hear it from this group. So I understand and I appreciate it, but come to me during. I would have happily walked up to her and been like, do you mind turning down? She would have, yeah, no problem. She would turn it right down.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Cool.
Question, do you have dates picked for that wall trip?
I do. It's going to be the 8th through the 11th July. And if you want to peek at it, the room block's going to be at the Finch. It's a really cool, I've actually stayed there. It's a cool hotel right in downtown. It is walk to all the tasting rooms, all the shops. You're right down there. It's a great little spot. And the rates are ridiculous. They're giving us $119 a night. Yeah. So 3 nights in Walla Walla is cheaper than our 2 nights in Leavenworth. And we'll be there when it's beautiful and sunny, hopefully, and warm and stuff as well.
Is there a closer airport to Walla Walla besides Seattle? It, like, for example.
Walla Walla has their own airport. Walla Walla has their own airport. Walla Walla has their own airport. Alaska flies into Walla Walla. They're the only one, I believe, that flies in Walla Walla. But yeah.
Todd, when
like,
there's a
full on.
question from the group, can you repeat it for us before you answer? Because it's confusing.
So dates for the event was asked, July
Okay.
8th through the 11th. And then it was asked what airport was there so they could
No,
fly in
I
because they
understood
may
that
not be
part,
here.
okay.
Okay.
But that wasn't my question, so I still need my hand up.
But okay. Any other questions?
On May
Yes.
7th, or on TV, it's.
Yes, Patty. What's your question?
Question is, I was told, and it's probably a rumor, that right at this next development to I'm going to call it to the west, that there's going to be a coffee shop right there in the corner. Have you heard this rumor?
Okay, so at the very end of Cascadia, that giant open lot that everybody drives their car to take all the pictures and they're having their picnics right now is going to be to Holly's.
Not there, not there.
Then
The
no,
one
then
that,
there's
no,
then I
that's
know
not to the
nothing
west.
about a coffee shop.
But that's not to the west. It's the one right, the first Verterra sign or the right over here. I don't know what road it is. It's the builder. There's Richmond Homes in there. It's just
Okay.
to our west.
I
You don't
know-
know what I'm talking about.
I know nothing about a coffee shop going in.
Weird looking house that doesn't have a garage. And everybody's been trying to figure out what it is.
Sales office.
Yeah, it's a sales office, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about a coffee shop up the west on the Verterra side. any of those faster, not that I can't ask, but if you want any of those kind of questions answered faster, that's your HOA. Hit up your Glacier Point, Kristen Chapman, send her an email, say, I heard there's a coffee shop going in here, and she would know. Absolutely. And sorry, since we're not on a full online call, I don't always see the hand raised, so you guys can always just pop in because I'm looking out over the group as well. So sorry, Patty, I didn't see the hand raise emoji on your window. Question.
May 17th on TV, it says something about artists and artisans.
Yeah, that's your block party in May.
Oh, okay. Talk about.
Because I'm not talking about May. I talked about June. That was talked about last month. But yes, so like how many of you did the wellness fair in January? And we had everything through the models. So we're doing the same style, but it's an artist and artist fair. So I have 13 vendors coming that make their own stuff. I have a woodworker, I have a leather worker, I have jewelry makers, I have crafters, I have card makers, stained glass maker, off the top of my head. And they're going to be set up from the sales center all the way through the models here to show off their wares. Yeah.
For those of you that knew Joe Horton, there's gonna be a memorial for her in
July.
at the Discovery Park.
Any other questions online? Anybody? Yes.
If we didn't want to go to all 3 days of the Walla Walla trip, but only wanted to go to 1 or 2, is that a possibility, or do you prefer that everyone's there the whole time?
I would leave that after, like if it wasn't booked, then maybe we could talk about it, but it would need to be open for the whole time for the people. Yeah. Yep. Anything else? I hit all of my notes. Did you hit all of your notes? Yes, Carol. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The connection, we had to wait like 3 minutes for the connection. Actually, it's a
That's
good
good
show.
show.
Yeah, the bus is a great option. It's great. That's some of you have talked to me about like, well, what if I want to go to a play in Seattle? You know, yeah, I took the train up. There's no train back. Yeah, but the bus comes back. There's an express bus that comes back. And once you're out of Seattle, it literally is only 3 stops. It stops at Federal, Auburn, and back in Sumner again. So another great thing to do. And that runs 24 hours, so you can always get back. Anything else? Statements,
ask a
questions?
question?
Yes, Kathy.
So the May block party, which is where the art and the artisans are going to be at, it hasn't been posted yet, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to miss it.
Yeah.
As a new person, what will the transportation be to the Rainiers?
Transportation Rainiers will be your transportation. Yeah. There's a very special Rainiers coming in July, just to get you pretty excited about it. There's a suite for the July Rainiers game, not for our May Rainiers game. We're going in July to see the Rainiers again, but this will be a bus and a suite. The reason why is Shay's also using this as a prospect. So it'll be an event that will hopefully be about a third of prospects doing as well. So bigger budget.
So some people aren't invited.
You're invited.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. You have to have a Rainiers hat though. The Rainiers game we're going to, by the way, because we've been playing around with it. The one in May is you get a hat, you get your pick of any of the food and any of the food vendors there, and your ticket in when we go to this one. So kind of cool. It's not just the hot dogs we got last year, which is fine with. I like hot dogs, but a lot more options for people.
A fun experience.
Oh, great. Yeah. Okay. Nothing else? You guys are amazing. If you guys are online, there's lots of stuff left here. They didn't eat it all or drink all the coffee. You can come over and get some. All right, guys. Thanks for your time. I appreciate everybody.
Thanks, Todd. Thank
You
you.
are so welcome. Happy Monday.
Thanks a lot, Todd.